There is quite a bit of content in metadata. I mean, when you have the records of the phone calls that a particular individual made, you can learn an awful lot about that person. And that's one of the things that struck me. So there's not, in my mind, a sharp distinction between metadata and content. It's more of a continuum.
So that's Michael Morrell. He's a former acting CIA director. He's also a member of the President's Review Board on the NSA. This only days before we will finally hear Mr. Obama's plan to revamp the spy agency. And one of the NSA's most outspoken critics is Republican Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky. And Senator, good morning to you from Capitol Hill. Welcome back here. You've got a president trying to satisfy these world leaders. Based on reports, they've given him an earful about this. You have civil liberties as a question mark, and a question also about national security. What is he going to do, Senator?
Well, I don't think you can expect the fox to guard the henhouse. You can't expect the fox to oversee the henhouse. So really, Congress needs to step up. We need to rein in the NSA. I'm all for spying on terrorists, but I don't think we're catching any terrorists by spying on every American. Think about it. All those phone records that we collect for 5 years, do you think there's a terrorist anywhere in the world using the same phone twice? You think there's a terrorist that has the same phone that they were using 5 years ago? I don't think there's one terrorist that's been stopped by any of this data. It's extraordinarily expensive and it's extraordinarily intrusive into American lives.
Are you aware of what Catherine Herridge reported last night here on Fox? She's saying that the trail for these terrorists has gone cold because they're dropping off the radar. What's that suggest?
Well, the thing is I don't think it's news to any of them that we have the ability to spy on phone calls. So I think that they probably have been doing this for years now. But I think it is important that the things we're fighting for, when I see our young men and women who've lost arms and legs fighting for our freedom, they tell me they're fighting for the Bill of Rights. It's disappointing for them to come home and find out we gave up on the Bill of Rights while they were gone. So we do have to defend our liberties. That's what we're fighting for. That means the Fourth Amendment, and it means that the government shouldn't issue a single warrant and get the records of millions of Americans. It's not constitutional, and it needs to end.
There's another story this morning that's breaking about 100,000 computers embedded by the NSA going back a couple of years. And the agency apparently has expressed already that it's tracking online traffic and also looking again at national security. What do you think of that?
Yeah, but it's the fox guarding the henhouse. Who's going to protect the American citizen from unwarranted searches? And the thing is, do we want to live in a surveillance state where every one of your Google searches, every one of your Visa bills, every one of your bank bills is being looked at by the government? I frankly think that the Supreme Court has to rule on this and has to evaluate it, because my Visa bill, where I spend my money, can tell you whether I gamble, whether I smoke, whether I drink, what books I read. That's private information, and the government shouldn't be looking at your Visa bill or any third-party record, which is metadata. That's a way of saying they're trying to say, oh, it's not really anything. But where you spend your money on your Visa card tells a lot about an individual. That's private information, and no one should be looking at that without a warrant.
That's kind of what Mike Morrell was suggesting in the hearing that we just played there for our viewers as well. Another point here, the issue of data storage appears to be a big issue for the president. From what I read, the phone companies don't want anything to do with this. So that would leave it in the hands, I believe, of the NSA. And if that's the case, the program doesn't change, does it?
Yeah, and that's what's important here. If the president comes out and says, oh, hey, guys, it's no big deal, I've fixed the problem, there's a danger that that's an illusion. They've already done this once. The last meeting they had at the White House, where they all trooped out of the White House and they said, oh, no one's spying on America or on Americans, is because they defined away the existence of spying. They say collecting all your records is not spying. It is spying. We can't allow the White House to be the one in charge of overseeing the White House. So the NSA needs to be reviewed thoroughly by Congress and also by the Supreme Court. And we need a further evolution of the Supreme Court saying what the Fourth Amendment protects, because I think the Fourth Amendment should protect your records, whether they're your papers in your house or whether you've given them to somebody else to hold your
Listen,
papers.
I fully respect, the opinion you're offering here, but if you give this to Congress, I don't know if you win on this. Do you?
We'll see. But I think we can't trust the White House to investigate themselves. It's just like the IRS scandal. Does anybody trust the outcome of the IRS scandal? Does anybody trust the outcome of the Benghazi scandal? No, because the White House investigates themselves. They claim they've fixed the problem, but in reality, you can't police yourself. It has to be an independent body. So we really need checks and balances between the branches of government, and it will include Congress, win or lose, but also should include the Supreme Court as well.
Senator, thank you for your time. We're asking our viewers about this online as well today, too. Senator Rand Paul, thank you. We await what the president has to say in a matter of days. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.